James here from goodguitarist.com, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to play Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. And this one can be a pretty simple strummer. When you listen to the recording, what you hear is there's one or two acoustic guitars, there's an electric guitar, there's a whole band going on, and what I'm going to show you is just the acoustic rhythm parts that you can just strum through the whole song, sing-along style. And this is probably the part that Bob Dylan would be playing on the recording, and then he would hire somebody to play all the cool, But we're going to be doing just the rhythm part like I did during the intro to this tutorial. And to do it, honestly, it doesn't require too many difficult chords. It requires a few basic chords and one bar chord, F, which we can play as an easier chord. And if you want more help with that, or if you're still working on the basic chords, I have a few resources. There's my free ebook, 100% free. That'll go over all the basics and sort of get you started. But if you want a more like of a guided tour through the basics, I also have a premium beginners course. So you should check that out too. I'll put links to all that stuff down below. And we're gonna start off with the verse. The song does actually begin with the intro, but I'm going to show you that at the very end of the video just because it's kind of a different thing than the rest of the song. Anyways, for that, we're going to need some chord shapes. The first one is C. Then we have D minor. Then E minor. Then we have F, which you can play as a bar chord, or you can do an easier version. I like this one. This one's just like a C chord, and then you just move two fingers. And then we go to a G chord, which I like to play like this, because after this G chord, we're going back to a C, and that's more efficient. If you're closer to the beginner level or like beginner intermediate, you might just have one way to play G, like this, or like this, or this. But the more songs you learn, eventually you'll just be comfortable with every form of G, and then you just pick the one that you need. And in this case, I would pick this one. That's, I think, the best one, because when we go back to C, so simple, so quick. Anyways, those are all the chords that we need for the verse. And those are actually the first 5 chords in the key of C. So this song is a really great learning tool. C, D minor, E minor, F, G. Like the alphabet, C, D, E, F, G. So they kind of just go in order. It is really helpful for helping you remember your scales and stuff eventually. Just keep that in mind. Anyways, before we go any further, let's work on those chord shapes. Going from C to D minor. For that, I like to start with my C shape. I take my ring finger off, and then I take these two fingers and I just bring them down that way, and then I finish off my D minor shape, either with my pinky or my ring finger. So that's a little tip. You might want to just try that, being really efficient. Just keeping these two fingers like a unit when you go from C to D minor. From D minor to E minor is just 2 fingers. Just grab the thing, try your best. And then we go into F. And if you can do the bar chord, great. Just, slam it down. But if you're like most people, you'll probably be using the 4-finger grip. So just take some time with that, going from E minor into that F shape. Then from F into G, once again, working it out. And finally, from G back into C. Whatever fingerings you're using for these chords, if you're using the other G, just make sure that you go over each transition. Depending on your level, you have to approach it in layers. And the first layer is making sure that you get each chord switch right. And if you have to just take your time with it, no problem. Take all the time you need. And then the next step would be to try that with some counting so that we can change chords at the right time to go with the song. So let's do that, starting off with C, nice and slow. Downstrokes only. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3. Switch to D minor, E minor, going to F, then to G. There's a lot of G. more time, back to C. Going to D minor. Cool. If you're still having trouble with that, remember, we got to take it in steps. First, work out the switches at your own pace, just taking your time with it, making sure you do it right, and then adding the downstrokes and trying to play along like we just did. And when you're ready, we can move on and take a look at a strumming pattern. And the one that I think goes best with this goes like this. I'll do it really slow. 3 and 4 and... And the best way to get it is to split it up. The first half goes down, root. And all a root is just the lowest notes of the chord. So on C, I'm just aiming for the low end of the C, the thicker strings. On D minor, just aiming there. E minor, F, G. I'm just aiming for the low part of the chord. Anyways, back to the pattern. Down, root. Just try that a bunch of times. Down, root, down, root. You can try it on each chord. Just get used to it. The second half is down, down, up. Pretty simple. Down, down, up. Down, down, up. Down, down, up. Remember to hold your pick gently. If you squeeze it too hard, it's going to be really abrasive, but all I'm doing here is I'm just being a bit gentler so that my pick can kind of just, glide along the strings more. Anyways, when you combine those two halves, going down, root, down, down, up, that's the pattern. I recommend slowing it down, counting it out, doing everything you need to do to get this one until you can play it a bunch of times in a row on a single chord. Over and over again. Down, root, down, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So take your time with that if you need to. Otherwise, we're going to put that together with the chord shapes nice and slow. Starting on C, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dressed so fine, didn't knock down. Cool, so that's the verse, and if you can play that, you're gonna be able to play the rest of the song because it's gonna be the same chords, same strumming pattern, just in a different order. The next part is the pre-chorus. It starts off playing the strumming pattern a couple times on F, a couple times on G. We do that all over again. Then we go F, E minor, D minor, C. That's like the first 4 chords of the song, but just reversed. Do that a couple times. Then we just go D minor, F, G. I have the order of the chords, just up here. You can take a look at it, kind of work your way through it. Otherwise, I think we're ready to just add the chords to the strumming. You can always just watch this part and then rewind it and try it yourself afterwards, if you're not 100% sure what's going on. But like I said, if you could play through that verse, you're gonna have no problem doing this. And if you couldn't play through the verse, I recommend just going back, taking it in steps, just like we've been talking about. Let's just try out this pre-chorus, nice and slow, chords and strumming. Here we go, starting off on F. 1, 2, 3, 4. You used to so that was the pre-chorus, and it gets even easier from here. The chorus is just C, F, G, 7 times, and then we just play a little extra G, and that's it. So just C, F, G. Let's just jump right in and try this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so the only tricky part with the chorus, once again, is the number of times that you're repeating it. It's kind of hard to feel out 7 times, so you might have to count that in the back of your head for a bit. And then, once you get to that last one, you just play a couple extra G's with the strumming pattern, and that's it. And those are all the parts of the song, and you do them in that order: verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Then you just go back to the start: verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Like a lot of times. This is a pretty long song. It's like 6.5 minutes, so it does that a lot. And there's some instrumental breaks, but this is the chord progression for everything. The only thing we haven't touched upon is the intro, and the intro has its own strumming pattern. It's its own thing. It's just 2 chords. Our first chord is C, and then we go to F major 7. And if you've been playing the easy F, it's just that, except the first string is open. So just make sure you curl that first finger enough that you get a nice, open string. And you can get your thumb to lightly touch the thickest string to mute it. And these 2 chord shapes, just work them out if they're new to you. The intro is really good to practice if you're fresh with these chords. Anyways, they have their own strumming pattern. Over the C chord, it's super simple. We're just going 1, 2, 3, 4. Super simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're strumming on beat 1 and 3. Then when we go to the F major 7 chord, we have like a bit of a real strumming pattern there. For some of you, you might already have this, so you'll have to bear with me. But for those of you who are having trouble with this, we're gonna break it down. The first half, down, up, down. It's pretty simple. Down, up, down. And then the second half, down, down, up. Down, down, up. With counting, it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And all we're doing there is lining up the strokes with the counting. 1 and 2, that's down, up, down, goes with 1 and 2. And then we go up on the and of 2 without doing anything. 3 and 4 and. Cool, so whether you got that right away or maybe you had to work it out, either way, we're ready now to put the chords from the intro and the strumming together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 down, 2, down, 4, down, up, down, 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 up. All right, so that's how you strum along to Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. If you need any extra help with this, don't forget I have my free ebook, my courses. There's a lot of materials out there that'll help you get all the basics. And remember, it's all about taking it slow, starting wherever you need to start, taking your time to do it right and building up from there. That's how we do it. Rather than just show you like, all right, here's the first thing we do and we just take you through the whole song, I'd rather have you get the skill set required. You know, something that will let you play a whole bunch of songs. You know, any songs that use these chords and this strumming pattern, you should be able to play if you just approach it the right way. Anyways, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.